Back in 2018, Battle Royales were at their peak, taking over almost any FPS game you could get your hands on. With Fortnite pulling more views than any game on Twitch for an incredible amount of time, it's no surprise that both Battlefield and Call of Duty will release their own versions of a Battle Royale at the end of the year. I know Call of Duty is no stranger to Battle Royales, with Warzone ending its 3-year life with the release of Warzone 2 with this year's Modern Warfare 2, but when Blackout launched with Black Ops 4, COD was just dipping their feet into the genre. And it shows with Blackout feeling more like a traditional Battle Royale and Warzone feeling more like a Call of Duty multiplayer match inside of a Battle Royale. In today's video, I want to compare the two Battle Royales and see which was better or worse. Or maybe they're just too different to compare. Blackout launched as a rather traditional Battle Royale. It would launch with one map containing various well-known maps from Call of Duty as locations to land at or fight throughout the match. It would release with 3 modes, quads, duos, or solos, traditional to most Battle Royales at the time. On the ground, players could find weapons, attachments for specific weapons, various lethals and tacticals, as well as perks. These perks you would hold in your bag till needed, and after use would give you whatever buff the perk added for a short period of time. Using up the perk, Dead Silence is one I can think of being used a lot, as it made your footsteps silent and was great for rushing new locations. Other items were healing items like bandages, med packs, and trauma kits. Also, there was armor for the players that could be found. A normal hardcore mode was set to Blackout, with the player only healing when using the mentioned healing items, and the players would have just 1 life. Losing all health would knock you down to a last stand position, and if you bled out, you would be dead for the rest of the match and have to leave and join another match if you wanted to play more. Warzone released the very next year, sadly killing any chance of Blackout continuing as its own thing. Warzone launches fully free on March 10th, 2020 as part of Modern Warfare's 2nd season, whereas Blackout was tied to the purchase of Black Ops 4 and only accessible through Black Ops 4. Warzone took the mode of Battle Royale and added a Call of Duty twist to it. This mode launched with one map just like Blackout that had other various well-known maps thrown into it here and there, but was put together in more of a way to resemble a real map instead of the large gaps of empty terrain like there was in Blackout. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Warzone launched with 2 modes, Battle Royale and Plunder, but Plunder was another thing and it's on its own. Warzone took away a lot of things players would search for in Blackout, with weapons now having a rarity system, with lower rarities having little or no attachments, and higher rarities having full kits for the weapons, with normal Call of Duty regen being implemented, but armor plates would be added, and the players could hold on to and use to replenish their armor, take more hits in battle. This armor system was similar to most Battle Royales where you could find the armor like Blackout. Instead of the armor breaking and needing to find more, players could just pop in a few plates and be fine. Warzone also added money in a shop that was located around the map. This shop was a big change to Battle Royales, with players being able to buy armor or kill streaks or even full loadouts at the shop. Players could get set up quicker than any Battle Royale before. The kill streaks were just like multiplayer streaks, bombing runs, UAVs, easy to use in a big map like Verdansk. Loadouts would drop in like a care package and you could pick from your multiplayer classes to use in-game. Fully set up weapons, perks and all. I wouldn't say this was unfair, but I think it took away a lot of the charm of a Battle Royale. In a game like PUBG, you would have to risk dropping in a massively populated spot like military base to get good items, but in Warzone you just need to hide and scurry around till you have enough cash to just buy a drop. Getting knocked down with a chance to revive was still added, but now if players died once, they would be taken to the gulag to fight in a 1v1 for the chance to be dropped back into the game. But after that, just like Blackout, if you die again, it's game over. Both Warzone and Blackout kept the standard Battle Royale appeal of a large circle slowly closing in on itself and creating the boundaries of the mode, forcing players to move and engage in combat. Matches would load players onto an airplane or helicopter, and a predetermined path would be followed by said aircraft. Players could choose when to jump out, and depending on where they might want to land, they could fly there. Combat would ensue in both like traditional COD, just some mechanics being different between the two. Fighting to be the last man or team alive was the ultimate goal for both modes. Throughout its life, Blackout would only see one new map added, but the main map itself would undergo many changes throughout the year it was active. Updates like adding in new locations to land in on the map, filling in dead space, like the map Hijack being added into the water off the coast, or the whole of the Zombies map Buried being added into the desert. Pretty cool if you ask me. Seeing the map grow as it did through the year made it not feel too stale. Alongside these additions, we would get other updates like a fall version of the map, or a flooded event where the dam on the map was destroyed and a lot of the map was filled with water. The second map added would be Alcatraz. Reusing the assets from the Blood of the Dead zombie map, I'm sure, this map was a recreation of the Alcatraz prison in San Francisco. This map stayed mostly the same through its life, but did implement a respawn feature, where as long as one player was alive on your team, you would respawn in intervals to get back into the fight. Alcatraz is a lot more faster paced than the original map and might be what sparked the changes that we see in Warzone. Speaking of Warzone, it would launch with just one map but would implement 3 new maps in its life. Verdansk was the first map and would stay the same for most of its life, only doing a big change well over a year after its release. This change would add in some newer sections to parts of the map, like the stadium being open up and now being more than just a huge obstacle in your way when being chased by the zone. The newer maps added would be Resurrection Island, just Alcatraz from Blackout basically, as well as an older version of Verdansk was added, taken back in time before a lot of the destruction we see in the map. And the last map added would be Fortune's Keep, replacing Verdansk instead of being alongside it, and which caused some player discretion. Multiple secondary game modes would also be released for both Blackout and Warzone, rounding them out as two fun modes that could easily stand on their own. But what makes them different? In Blackout, throughout the map, you could find special objectives to complete throughout the match. Completing these would unlock you a permanent operator to use in Blackout. Some challenges being very easy, while some others seeming as not so much. Like unlocking Frank Woods, a player would have to fly in a plane for a specified amount of time and then win the match. Sadly, we all can't be the two-time and win every single match we play.
This game would be sick with a battle royale, man.
And this provided to be a good challenge to keep players coming back. The system of being able to unlock cool cosmetics solely from playing the game is something we don't really see anymore in most games, with Warzone scrapping this model entirely and having operators normally in the shop or battle pass. Because of Warzone's new weapon system of different rarities, the guns are slightly different between each game, with Blackout having a set of weapons from start and only adding in a few weapons each DLC that was released, but Warzone would change the weapons around more often with each season of the game and adding in blueprints from the new season as the weapons and different rarities you could find around the map. But the ground weapons wouldn't matter too much in Warzone, as you would normally only use them up until you grabbed your loadout. I wouldn't say Blackout was better, but it seemed to keep fun at the head and not take itself too seriously. Warzone's loadout drops is probably what sets this apart so much. Now instead of having to search for a scope for your rifle, it's already there waiting for you. Instead of using the perks for a small time as a consumable, you could just get a class with all the best perks until you die. That and the armor plate system is what makes the mode feel less of a battle royale and more of an incredibly drawn out match of multiplayer. But with Warzone 2 on the horizon, I wonder what changes will be made, if any at all. Blackout kept the fun while Warzone stuck to COD. So I wonder, what battle royale did you like more? Warzone's serious Call of Duty feel or Blackout's arcadey and more fun approach? There's probably hundreds of things I missed in this video, as I did most of this off memory, so feel free to talk to me about it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. It's been Ricto. Thanks for watching.